Guanyin is compassionate and saves all beings, and at the same time is revered and worshipped by many. But what are the secrets to capturing Guanyin's divine aura in art? Mr. Chung Siu-Yau, a painter from Hong Kong, has a wealth of experience in this area. This morning we are honored to have Mr. Chung here to share his insights with us. Good morning, Mr. Chung. Actually, 10 years ago you mainly painted tigers, fierce and powerful subjects, but in the past 10 years your focus has shifted to painting Guanyin, which seems like quite a significant change. Why is that?
Actually, how should I put it? The reason I painted tigers in my early years was probably because I was younger then, and I had just graduated from the art department. Being young and full of vigor, I preferred to choose a subject that embodied strength, so I painted tigers. There's also a saying I read in a famous book a long time ago, "The loneliness of a hero, only the tiger understands." The idea is that if you want to succeed in life, you must be like a tiger. There's another saying, a mountain cannot contain two tigers. You have to forge ahead bravely, just like a tiger leading the charge, defeating all obstacles around it. Back then, because of my youthful exuberance and bold spirit, I chose tigers as my main subject, mostly tigers.
Next, in your early works depicting Guanyin, what aspects or themes did you mainly focus on at that time?
Back then, painting Guanyin actually happened quite by chance, right after I finished my first tiger exhibition. I just traveled around the country, and during my travels, I visited various temples, including the Dunhuang and Longmen grottos. Seeing the murals in those temples was truly magnificent and overwhelming for me, and the artistry was extremely rigorous. After I came back, I started to process the materials I had gathered and chose something that could express my artistic vision, but was also interesting in many ways. So I decided to paint Guanyin. My early Guanyin works followed the path of the Qin dynasty, drawing more from the Tang dynasty style, which had a more primitive form of Buddhism that gradually evolved as it moved south, eventually appearing in the murals along the Silk Road.
It's also very particular, of course, from the unique perspective of an artist. Actually, what exactly is the profound relationship between art and religion?
The relationship is very close because throughout history, outstanding artists have all made contributions in the realm of religion. This includes Western artists like Da Vinci with the Last Supper, and even in China, there are many examples, such as court painters like Ding Yunpeng and Ding Guanpeng from the Ming and Qing dynasties. In modern times, I think everyone is familiar with Zhang Daqian. Zhang Daqian spent several years studying in Dunhuang, and he immersed himself in the Buddhist statues there, allowing us scholars to absorb and learn from them. I believe that if an artist wants to enhance their skills and techniques, immersing themselves in religious art is a good subject and path. Its lines are more rigorous, and you can absorb the lifestyle and culture of people from that era. For example, Chinese murals or Buddhist paintings from the Tang dynasty depict figures that are plumper and more dignified, with jewelry that is grand and magnificent, reflecting the openness and cultural exchange of the Tang dynasty, especially since the Silk Road was flourishing at that time. In contrast, by the Ming dynasty, the style became more closed off, and the line drawings of figures were simpler and more restrained.
In the 1980s, you painted tigers, but in the past 10 years, you've mainly focused on painting Guanyin. It seems you have a special fondness for painting Guanyin. For you personally, what kind of feelings do you have toward Guanyin?
It's not exactly that I have a special fondness, not in that sense. Actually, when I considered painting Guanyin, there was a certain consistency. I wanted to find a theme to express my artistic vision. Guanyin, according to Buddhist scriptures, especially as recorded in the Lotus Sutra, had already attained Buddhahood a long time ago. But she saw that people in the world were suffering, and she made a great vow. She would only become a Buddha once all sentient beings had attained Buddhahood. I'm not trying to preach, but I feel that this kind of wisdom is profound. The idea of using oneself as an example to teach others. This is something that's missing in modern life, where people are generally selfish, seeking quick success and material gain, and lack this kind of spirit. So I decided to use her as a central theme. Also, the scriptures mention that Guanyin can take on many forms to save people. For example, if you are an animal, she can appear in an animal form. There is no distinction between humans and animals. As long as you call her name in times of trouble, she will respond and come to your aid.
If I am a beginner now and I want to ask everyone for advice on how to paint Guanyin, what should I pay attention to, or are there any tips or secrets?
Actually, to express it simply, there is one word that sums it up: accomplishment. I think this is important no matter what you are learning. Besides that, you basically need to pay more attention to the subtleties of life. What are the subtleties of life? Generally speaking, it's about people's movements, people's expressions. You need to observe these things carefully. Also, when you are painting, you should handle it in a calmer, quieter manner.
It's also very important to observe people closely, as all living beings can inspire your work. Why don't you introduce some of your pieces to us?
All right, this Guanyin painting is one of my more recent works. You'll notice that I use a style that's closer to the original religious approach. If you look at the clothing and the decorative cords, they're all based on very traditional religious forms, but the face is a bit different. I chose to depict a more human-like appearance. In Orthodox Buddhist art, especially from the Tang Dynasty or later, the figures are portrayed in a way that's more accessible. If it were before the Tang Dynasty, the figures would be slimmer, but here I've chosen to express a more feminine look. In the world of sentient beings, this is known as the Universal Salvation Guanyin. There are many records of the Universal Salvation Guanyin, including in Beijing, where it's described as saving all beings. Generally, as you may know, when Guanyin comes to this world, she sprinkles holy water from a willow branch using a white jade vase, also called a golden dew jade vase. Whenever there's a need, she will sprinkle a bit of this golden dew to save sentient beings. Her attire is usually a draped veil, but in my depiction, I've chosen a larger, more imposing presence using a Tang Dynasty painting style. The face is also a bit fuller, as you can see.
Next is another piece.
This piece is more about a single character. We call it a single character standing on the hand or sitting here as if falling onto a stone wing or giving off a sense of playfulness and leisure. It feels very relaxed, as if the figure has already blended into the human world without any sense of superficial appearance. As for the background on both sides, I paid more attention to it, making it more rocky with some simple trees, and using an elegant ink wash style to express it. The photo also feels a bit more down to earth, that is to say.
Almost like a common person.
That's right.
I believe this will make it easier for everyone to accept. Actually,
painting Guanyin is about expressing the image of all sentient beings.
Sentient
beings, I had an early religious painting, and then gradually through the process of evolution, I hope that you could see that this is something you might encounter in your everyday life, maybe even yourself, though you might not realize it yet. This is what it means.
All right, after talking with you about sentient beings for so long this morning, I can say it's been very enlightening. It really lets everyone feel just how profound painting Guanyin can be. Thank you, sentient beings.